Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, friends. It's time once again to dive into that tense, terrifying, yet always terrific world of the Twilight Zone. This time with the penultimate episode of Season 1, Episode 35, The Mighty Casey, a baseball episode. I can't wait, friends, so wait no longer, we shall. If you could do me a quick favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and allows me to alert you next time it's time to journey into the Twilight Zone. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes at least a day early. But my dear friends, all that is then and this is now, and now it's time to listen to Rod Serling take us away to the Twilight Zone as we watch the penultimate episode of Season 1, Episode 35, The Mighty Casey. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And away we go! Penultimate episode. We are 35 deep in the Twilight Zone. Unreal. These have been flying because they're so good.
Next stop, the Twilight Zone.
A little bit on me. My grandfather was a professional baseball player, and I grew up with baseball. I myself was moderate to below average, but here we go.
Once upon a time, it was a baseball stadium that housed a major league ball club known as the Hoboken Zephyrs.
Ah,
We're back in time now, when the Hoboken Zephyrs was still a part of the National League. And this mausoleum of memories was an honest-to-Pete stadium. But since this is strictly a story of make-believe, it has to start this way.
once
Once
upon
upon a time in Hoboken, New Jersey, it was tryout day. And though he's not yet on the field, you're about to meet a most unusual fella. A left-handed pitcher named Casey.
Well, the Zephyrs look like they are a elite ball club here. Hey, what's going on, buddy? Far cry from an asteroid.
You stick up a tryout sign for a last division club that happens to be 31 games out of first. This is the material you usually round up.
31 out of first? Damn.
20 games out of fourth place. And the only big average we got is a manager with the widest mouth in either league. Maybe you better get reminded. When the Hoboken Zephyrs win one game, we gotta call it a streak. Contract time comes around, you don't have to.
Wow. Okay, so I'm just playing out my contract.
He pitched one inning last week and only allowed 6 runs. That makes him our most valuable player of the month.
My God. My God.
Want to look at a pitching?
At this point, I'll even look at you.
Love it.
You got the lineup for tonight?
I'm working on it.
Who's pitching?
I just feel them one by one. Who's ever warm goes to the mound.
We're going to cut back to that shot.
Stop already with the calisthenics. That guy in the end's turning blue.
Guy in the front has absolutely no rhythm, too.
All right, what's the gag? Did this muttonhead put you up to it? You're the pitcher, huh?
Oh, no, I'm not the pitcher. I'm Dr. Stillman. Though, of course, I have thrown baseballs in my time.
All right, Dr. Stillman.
Ah, here comes Casey now. He's the pitcher.
He looks tall as hell. I'm not sure what we're supposed to take from
This
him.
is Mr. McGarry.
Yeah, he is tall.
No. Your right hand, Casey. Your right hand.
Oh.
What is he, just strong as an ox? Little Lenny from Of Mice and Men action.
You can let go now, Casey.
All right, Doc, where'd you find this guy?
See that fella out there with the big mitt? He's what is known as a catcher.
Bud, you need to just stop it. He's going to be like, awesome.
You his father?
His father, Casey's? Oh, no. He has no father. Well, I am what you might call his, kind of creator.
What do you mean by that?
Now, what I mean is, it's hard to be chronological when discussing Casey's age because he's only been in existence 3 weeks. He has the physique and the mind of a boy of 22. But in terms of how long he's been here, well, now, the answer to that would be 3 weeks.
You want to go over that again?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not too difficult, really.
Did you make him?
I built him. He's a robot.
Oh, wow.
Why do you have to pick on me all the time?
Why did you make him a baseball player, though?
That's his fastball.
Well, I mean, you can't throw something at 200 miles an hour. People are going to ask some questions. It's the curveball.
That's his curve.
All right, let me see that fastball.
Presumably, he won't get tired.
All right, the slow ball.
He's the best pitcher I ever caught.
Yeah, Monk, I saw it.
He picks up
I
a fella
saw it.
like
I
that.
saw it. What am I blind?
He's got a hook,
Take a shower.
a curve.
Take a shower.
Take a shower.
He pitches like nothing human.
This is interesting. I'm befuddled by why you would build a baseball player.
I was telling the doc here, you're a little rough, but we'll work that out. I think we'll give you a chance. I like to help young ball players, you know? He does wear clothes, doesn't he?
Oh, yes, yes.
You go down, take a shower, and then come up, and the three of us will discuss a contract, huh?
Can he get wet? I mean, not to be a smartass.
You better go down with him and check his blueprints, Doc. I think that last slow ball shook him up.
Very well. Go on, Casey.
I mean, honestly, who the hell would even ask, hey, is that guy a robot? So if the Zephyrs aren't around anymore, I'm wondering if they get found out for having a robot pitcher and are kicked out of the league, the National League. I'm wondering.
Draw the contract. The only thing that stands between us as a pennant is if this guy's battery goes dead or he rusts in the rain. Never mind what I mean. You draw the contract.
It's a good thing that the manager and the general manager hate each other. Oh, God, these are so short. I mean, can he hit? We're going to need that, too.
Yes.
Now, above all, kid, don't be nervous.
Nervous?
You know, nervous. Like it's 2 out in the ninth. You're 1 up, and Joe DiMaggio comes to the plate looking intent.
Well, that wouldn't make me nervous. I don't know anyone named Joe DiMaggio.
Okay, shh. Casey, shh.
Well, you just get in there, kid. Go ahead.
Who's the catcher's name? Monk? He's like, this is it. We're on and it's on and popping now.
Oh, I'd love to beat those Giants. But for that matter, I'd love to beat Cincinnati or Philadelphia.
Anybody.
Or even the Hicksville Bullets. They beat us 11-0 in spring training. What's in this for you, Doc?
Oh, you mean with Casey? Oh, just scientific, that's all. Purely experimental.
You a baseball fan?
Once I built a home economist, a marvelous cook. I gained 46 pounds before I had to dismantle her. Now, with Casey's skills, I consider that with his strength and accuracy, he'd be a baseball pitcher. Now, in order to have that proved, I had to have him pitch in competition.
Field testing.
Pitch in absolutely the worst ball team I could find.
He found us.
Thanks a lot, Doc. You got a lot of class.
I wonder if this is like military applications, though. Very similar to. He wants the heat. Casey's calling for the heat. 3 shutouts. Look at that. Already in 4th. Uh-oh. Doc, what's up with him?
All I kept thinking about was, there goes Casey, there goes the pennant, there goes the series.
There goes your career.
Uh-huh.
How,
Doc, do we want to do something about this? Anybody? Doc, do we want to do something about this? Oh, is this a fake body?
This man doesn't have any pulse, no heartbeat. This man isn't alive.
That's a hell of a jump to make.
This man hasn't a pulse or a heartbeat because he doesn't have a heart. He's a robot.
Well, cat's out of the bag.
Under the circumstances, as team physician, I'm afraid I must notify the baseball commissioner.
Well, I guess we're all screwed.
Article 6, Section 2, the Baseball Code.
No robots.
Team shall consist of 9 men. End of quote. Men, understand? Not robots.
I knew it was going to be robots.
He is not human.
How human do you want him? He's got arms and legs and a face, and he talks.
And a face.
How could he be human without a heart?
Beasley hasn't got a heart either. He owns 40% of the club.
That's it, gentlemen. He isn't human. That's a clear violation of the baseball code. Therefore, he doesn't play.
Mr. Commissioner,
If I give him a heart,
I think I could operate and supply him with a heart.
You can do that.
No trouble at all.
Do you want to play?
Of course he wants to play.
Casey wants to play.
If he were to be given a heart, would you classify him as a... Well, what I mean is, would you call him a...
You had me fooled even without one.
All right, all right. Oh, the other clubs are gonna scream bloody murder.
Yeah, they are.
Casey gets a heart and accreditation as being a human, and the Hoboken Zephyr. Take it, Mouthy.
The Hoboken Zephyrs win the pennant for the first time in 23 years.
Casey seems very happy about that.
So he's still in the middle of the operation. What's the matter? He can't use one hand to pick up a phone? Well, I can't wait any longer.
Wonder if the doc died or something.
That's the enemy out there. That's the New York Giants.
Ha, again.
The last thing he said just before that knife went into his chest. Win this one for the big guy. Pull yourself together, Monk.
Monk's like, the end of my dream.
So just before you go to bat, I want you to look over to where he used to sit. Of course, he's going to be there. He's going to be there in spirit.
Isn't that right, Casey?
Hi, Casey.
Hi, Casey.
Casey!
Oh, he looks happy.
Well?
Tell him, Casey.
Listen, Mr. McGarry.
Steady as the rain.
All right, let's get out there.
So is the heart gonna? He's not gonna want to get anybody out anymore.
There you are, Seven. Go suit up.
But as soon as everybody hears about the robot, all the other teams are gonna commission the doc to get a pitcher, get a hitter, first baseman. Hit him with the heat, Casey. Whoa. Turn that heart off. Can we turn that off? What's going on there, Casey? You trying to make everybody happy? Give them a hit? Oh my God, they've gone right back through the cycle. Jeez, oh Pete's.
But maybe you can tell me how 1 minute he can look like 3 Bob fellers and the next like a tanker with nothing. Or maybe you can explain, Casey, how you can pitch 9 balls and allow 4 singles, 2 doubles, 2 triples, and a home run.
Shall I tell him, Casey?
Well, somebody tell me.
Yeah.
The thing is, Mr. McGarry, I just couldn't strike those poor fellas out.
Yep.
I felt compassion.
That's it. He's got compassion. See how he smiles? Give a man a heart, Mr. McGarry, particularly someone like Casey, who hasn't been around long enough to understand competitiveness or drive or ego.
I'm sorry, Mr. McGarry. I just can't hurt fellas' careers.
Aw.
Thinks I should go into social work.
That's right.
I want to help people.
Well,
Bye.
bye, Casey.
Well, I know somebody you can help for a start.
Me.
Me.
Perhaps you'd like to keep Casey's blueprints. A little memento might cheer you up.
That's exactly what I'd like. Some blueprints.
Hey, Doc, wait a minute. Doc! Hey, Doc, wait a minute.
What'd you figure out?
Once upon a time, there was a Major League Baseball team called the Hoboken Zephyrs, who during the last year of their existence wound up in last place and shortly thereafter wound up in oblivion.
Oblivion.
Of course, that a manager named McGarry took them to the West Coast and wound up with several pennants and a couple of World Championships. This team had a pitching staff that made history. Of course, none of them smiled very much, but it happens to be a fact that they pitched like nothing human. And if you're interested as to where these gentlemen came from, you might check under B for Baseball in the Twilight Zone.
Fantastic. Fantastic. All right, everybody, we just finished watching the penultimate episode of the Twilight Zone's very first season, episode 35, The Mighty Casey. And the only thing left to do is talk about it. All right, everybody, we just finished The Mighty Casey, the 35th episode and the penultimate episode of the first season of The Twilight Zone. This one was good. I mean, I again, as soon as the reveal that Casey was in fact a robot, was, it pretty much just kind of went the way I thought it was going to be. Something was going to take him out of it. Obviously, the inclusion of a heart, the very idea of a heart turned him from a ruthless pitcher into a social worker, which, I mean, that's perfectly fine. I would love to know. He said he took the team out west. I'd love to know what team that they were, because, I mean, obviously Rod is referring to some team, you know, so maybe a team that he doesn't like very much. You know, you think about that. I just think that's hilarious. I mean, it could be the San Francisco Giants, you know, whenever they move out there from New York. I don't know. I mean, the Dodgers hadn't moved out there yet, I don't think. Who knows, though? Who knows who they actually mean from all of that? But I think it's absolutely fantastic that they apparently had several pitchers that could not get older, not smile, and pitched like the Dickens. So that was awesome. Again, I like the idea. I just like baseball, like the backdrop of baseball. I always think that that has a really kind of a unique kind of setting for any story, because you have a lot of players that play at the same time, and there's just a story with baseball. You know what I mean? I said at the top of the reaction, my grandfather was in the major leagues. He was not officially all the way to the major leagues. Technically, he had signed and everything. And this is, he was in the farm club for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he was getting, it sounds like a movie, got the call to go up. And right around that same time, he joined the Army because Pearl Harbor happened. And so whenever he came back, the window had passed, and he had, you know, been at war for several years. And when he came back, he wasn't the same, and in many, many, many ways, you know, whether it be physically, emotionally, everything, mentally. And, you know, he told me it just passed him by, you know, the ability to be able to do what he did. And I always think of what could have been, you know, especially with the Twilight Zone, right? You know, in the Twilight Zone, what would have happened if my grandfather had had a chance, had been able to answer that call to the majors? And who will know? You know, you just never will know. But this is what I think. That's why I like this episode a little bit more maybe than I should have. And again, you know, with Jack Warden in there really doing the heavy lifting for this episode, he was very funny, he was very engaging, just does great work anytime I've ever seen Jack Warden on the screen, especially, I mean, The Lonely was one of my favorite episodes from season 1. I thought it was very, very good, and because of Jack. He's just a great all-around, incredibly solid, incredibly, I mean, versatile actor. We've seen that just in the 2 episodes he's been in The Twilight Zone. And again, I'm not trying to belittle the mighty Casey. Twilight Zone episodes are fantastic across the board. And so comparatively speaking, I never try to compare anything to a series outside of what we're in. And so with Twilight Zone, we've had just some absolutely mind-blowing, stellar episodes. I thought it was a very fun, very entertaining episode. It's just, you're in the Twilight Zone. You know, this is season 1 of the Twilight Zone. You're being compared to some of these incredible episodes that we've watched. And if you're ranking them out, you know, the mighty Casey's not at the top. Maybe that's the best way to say it, but it's still very, very entertaining. Great performances across the board. I thought Casey's actor did a great job of just playing, really just playing reactive. You know, whether it be zero reaction before the heart, or the smile and the acceptance, and, you know, kind of waving at the batters as he allowed them to, you know, get on base, hit home runs, do whatever it happened to be. Really, really cool stuff. But you know, with the Twilight Zone, we're always kind of focused in on several elements that are always constant in the Twilight Zone. We have Rod's intro and outro, which usually gives us, and not the you know, now Mr. Serling outro, the actual outro of the episode, but usually ends with, you know, and that's because we're in the Twilight Zone. Get everything bookended really, really well. And so inside those painfully short 20-some minutes, we have this really great, compact, just drilled down tale. But let's end with this. What did it do right? Jack Warden. He's absolutely the star of the show, star of anything that we have in here. And the other thing that I think it did was, like many of the Twilight Zones across season 1, it gave you fuel for thought with the ending outro of Rod. You know, we expect to have those great leads. We expect to have those great outs by Rod. And this one was the exact same, because it made us think. It made me think at the beginning of the thought section, what team is he talking about? Is it a team that he liked and didn't want to mention their name? Is it a team that he hated and didn't want to mention their name? You know what I mean? It's like there's a bias there, whether it be pride in one's own team and you don't want to let anybody know about it, or just hatred for a team that did you dirty with a robotic pitching staff. Really good stuff there. And again, it's just thought-provoking. It's thought-provoking across the board. How does he work? How did you build him? Why did you build him? Why hasn't the government stepped in and said, hey, we could use a couple thousand of those guys for the field? Who knows, you know? But again, you just think about these things, and that's the real factory of the Twilight Zone. Its ability to once again give you a story, but then provide the raw imagination for you to carry it forward. And I think that is really one of the greatest things any tale can ever do, is last longer than the last sentence or word. And that's the Twilight Zone each and every. But friends, we have one episode left in season 1. If you could do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and allows me to alert you next time it's time to journey into the Twilight Zone. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes at least a day early. But my dear, dear friends, all that is then and this is now. And now, unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye from this, the 35th episode of the first season of the Twilight Zone, the penultimate episode, The Mighty Casey. Normally, friends, in all of our other series, we say goodbye from a scene within the episode or movie we just watched, because it's our reward for being the Greek chorus and spreading the tale to other audience members and growing the audience and making the story more viable and giving it more life, new life, right? So, but in this one, we do things a little bit different with the Twilight Zone. We say goodbye as a result of the episode. And friends, I have some good news. We get to go to the park today, and not the park with the swings, the park with the other kind of swings. We're going to a baseball game. We're out here on the West Coast. We got a brand new team in our hometown to see, and we hear the pitching staff is something to write home about. Friends, until we get to finish up season 1 of the Twilight Zone, Vulcan roll, and I'll see you.
Thank you.